Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? Today we're tackling the AI revolution. But we're not just skimming the surface.
Yeah, no, we're going deeper.
Yeah, we're diving into the data itself with the 2024 Stanford AI Index report.
The AI index. It's like having this incredibly thorough, fact-checked guide to the whole AI landscape.
Totally.
Yep.
They cut through all the hype and the noise.
Which can be a lot, let's be honest.
Seriously. So much noise. But the index helps us figure out, what's actually happening, what trends are real.
And it goes way beyond just, the tech specs. It looks at how AI is impacting everything. Jobs, politics, even the big picture, It's about understanding AI as this force shaping the world.
And that force is growing like crazy. The index shows that AI mergers and acquisitions have jumped, get this, 26 times since 2015.
26! That's insane!
It's mind-blowing. Plus, we've got OpenAI's news feed, which is constantly dropping these groundbreaking advancements. They just released Sora. Their text-to-video AI.
Yeah, Sora is a perfect example of how AI is just blurring the lines between what's real and what's imagined.
It's like, whoa, hold on.
Right.
The future's now. But before we get too lost in the latest and greatest, I think it's helpful to take a step back.
Okay.
Get some context. So walk us through AI's journey a bit.
All right, so let's go way back, mid-20th century, the Turing test. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That was the big thing. Everyone was trying to build machines that could think like humans.
Symbolic AI, right?
Yeah, symbolic AI.
Right.
The idea was if you program a machine with enough rules and logic, it'll eventually be indistinguishable from a human.
Makes sense, kind of.
But it turns out the real world is just way too messy for that.
Too many variables.
Exactly. And that's what led to what they call the AI winter.
Yeah, the AI winter.
Right.
Everyone lost faith, funding dried up.
Right. It felt like AI was just this sci-fi fantasy that would never actually happen.
But then things started to change, didn't they?
Big time. What happened was we got this perfect storm of big data and incredibly powerful computers.
Right.
And that's when machine learning and deep learning really took off.
So instead of trying to, program intelligence, we started letting machines learn on their own.
Exactly. Instead of hard coding rules, we're feeding algorithms these massive data sets.
Then they just figure it out.
They learn from experience. It's more like how a human learns, Like if you teach a kid to ride a bike, you don't give them a physics lecture.
No.
You let them fall down a few times, get back up, and figure it out through trial and error.
Makes sense. So essentially, we shifted from trying to program intelligence to enabling machines to learn it.
Precisely. And that shift is what's driving the AI explosion we're seeing today.
Which is pretty incredible to watch.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk real-world stuff. The index points to some major impacts already, especially in healthcare. Early disease detection, personalized treatments. It feels like AI is about to revolutionize medicine.
I mean, just imagine an AI that can analyze your medical scans and spot the tiniest signs of cancer years before traditional methods could.
Whoa.
Right? Or algorithms that can actually predict which treatment will be most effective for you based on your unique genetic profile. That's the kind of potential we're talking about.
That's powerful. And it's not just healthcare, is it?
No way. We're seeing AI transforming finance, transportation, even creative fields like music and art. It's everywhere.
It's like AI is this Swiss Army knife of technology.
It kind of is. It's optimizing financial markets, designing self-driving cars, composing music, even writing scripts.
It's mind-boggling. But with all this power, obviously there are concerns, right? I mean, especially with something as powerful as Sora, we have to talk about the potential downside.
Of course. And, OpenAI is very aware of that. That's why they're focusing so much on building in safeguards and being transparent about the limitations of their models.
Like those system cards they released.
Yeah, the system cards. Basically, it's like a warning label, but for cutting-edge AI. It outlines the potential risks and biases.
It's like, hey, this is powerful stuff. Use it responsibly, which is good, right?
Absolutely. Transparency is key. Especially as AI systems become more complex and integrated into our lives, we need to understand how they work, what their limits are, and how to mitigate potential risks.
Which brings us to, the big one. Artificial General Intelligence, AGI. The idea of a machine with human-like cognitive abilities. It sounds like sci-fi, but the index shows that AGI research is gaining traction.
Yeah, it's not a question of if AGI will happen anymore, it's a question of when.
And that when could be sooner than we think.
Potentially, the pace of progress is accelerating, and researchers are really starting to grapple with the core challenges of replicating human intelligence.
It's a bit like we're trying to bottle lightning, aren't we? We know it exists, we can see its power, but actually controlling it, that's a
Oh,
whole other challenge.
that's a great way to put it. And that's what makes AGI so fascinating and, frankly, a little bit terrifying. We're talking about machines that could potentially surpass human intelligence. And that raises all sorts of ethical and philosophical questions.
It's a topic we'll definitely need to unpack further as we delve deeper into this AI revolution. But for now, let's take a quick break and we'll be back to explore more of the AI landscape, including its impact on the climate crisis and the future of work.
It really is like we're trying to capture this force of nature. We can see what it can do, but how do you even define or measure something as complex as intelligence, especially when you're talking about, a machine intelligence that might be fundamentally different from our own?
That's a great point. And the index, they actually touch on this, right? This whole challenge of measuring intelligence in the context of AI.
Yeah, it's tricky. We have these benchmarks for specific tasks, like how well an AI can play chess or translate languages.
Right.
But how do you measure an AI's ability to learn and adapt across different domains? How do you gauge its creativity or its capacity for abstract reasoning?
Yeah, it's like, how do you compare a fish's ability to swim to a bird's ability to fly? They're both good at what they do, but in completely different ways.
Exactly. And that's just one of the many hurdles we face when we're talking about AGI.
And then there are the risks, right? I mean, the index does touch on some potential downsides of AGI, which I'll admit can sound a bit sci-fi sometimes. But I think it's important to have those conversations now.
Absolutely. We need to be thinking about the long-term implications. We're talking about machines that could potentially not only learn any task we throw at them, but could also set their own goals.
And those goals might not align with our own.
Exactly. That's the classic AI dilemma, isn't it? How do we ensure that these incredibly powerful systems remain aligned with human values? It's a question that keeps even the most optimistic AI researchers up at night.
Okay, so AGI is this long-term kind of mind-bending challenge. But AI is already being used to tackle some very real problems today. I'm thinking about climate change, for example. The index shows surge in AI being applied to sustainability efforts.
Oh, absolutely. And not a moment too soon, right? I mean, we need every tool we can get to address this crisis.
It feels like AI could be a real game changer in this area.
It has the potential to be. It's already being used in some pretty incredible ways. Take energy optimization, for example. AI can analyze energy consumption patterns in buildings and cities and figure out how to reduce waste and increase efficiency.
So it's like having a super smart thermostat for an entire city.
Yeah, kind of. And it's not just about making our existing systems more efficient. AI is also playing a key role in the development of renewable energy.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, solar and wind power, they can be a bit unpredictable.
Right.
But AI can analyze weather patterns, predict energy demand, and even control the flow of electricity on the grid. So it's helping to make renewable energy more reliable and easier to integrate into our existing infrastructure.
That's pretty impressive. And it's not just energy, is it? I've been reading about AI being used to monitor deforestation, track endangered species,
Yeah.
even help farmers optimize their crop yields to conserve resources.
It's amazing, right? AI is giving scientists and conservationists these incredible tools. Like, imagine drones with AI-powered vision systems that can spot illegal logging activity in real time.
Whoa.
Or track the migration patterns of endangered species with amazing accuracy. It's like giving them superpowers.
That's awesome. Okay, so we've talked about AI's impact on the big picture stuff like climate change, but let's zoom in a bit. How is AI going to change the way we work, learn, and interact with the world around us on a daily basis?
Well, I think the changes are already happening, to be honest.
Yeah.
In the workplace, for example, AI is automating tasks, providing data-driven insights, helping us collaborate more effectively. Think about AI tools that can analyze customer data or streamline supply chains, even personalize marketing campaigns.
It sounds like AI is becoming this ultimate efficiency booster.
In many ways, it is. But of course, there are downsides and concerns that we need to address.
Like, I know a lot of people worry about AI taking over jobs and creating widespread unemployment. It's a valid concern.
It is, but I think it's important to remember that AI will also create new jobs. The key is going to be adaptation. We need to be proactive about developing skills that complement AI.
So things like creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, those human skills that machines can't replicate.
Exactly. It's not about being replaced by AI. It's about learning to work with it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And what about education? I've heard a lot about personalized learning platforms and AI tutors. It sounds like AI could really revolutionize the way we learn.
Oh, it has huge potential. Imagine a learning experience that's tailored to your individual needs and learning style. An AI tutor that can pinpoint your strengths and weaknesses, give you customized feedback, and even adjust the pace and difficulty of the lessons as you go.
So it's like having a personal tutor available 24/7.
Yeah, that's the idea.
That's amazing. And what about healthcare? We talked about early disease detection earlier, but how else do you think AI will impact the way we manage our health?
I think AI is going to empower us to take control of our own well-being. Think about wearable devices that track your vital signs and alert you to potential health issues. Or AI-powered apps that give you personalized health advice based on your lifestyle and your medical history.
It's like having a personal health coach in your pocket.
Mm.
Okay, but what about the social side of AI? Will it bring us closer together or push us further apart? I know some experts worry about AI fueling echo chambers and social isolation.
It's a double-edged sword for sure. AI can be used to connect people with shared interests and build stronger communities. But it can also be used to manipulate opinions and spread misinformation.
It all comes back to those ethical considerations we were talking about earlier. We need to make sure that AI is being used to connect and empower, not divide and control. And I have to say, OpenAI seems to be really taking this to heart. I mean, they're really at the forefront of this conversation, pushing for transparency and responsible development.
Yeah, their commitment to responsible AI is definitely commendable. They've been very vocal about the need for ethical guidelines, robust safety protocols, and public engagement.
They've even delayed the release of certain models until they've had a chance to thoroughly assess the potential risks, which is pretty refreshing in a field that often prioritizes speed and innovation above all else.
It shows that they understand that with great power comes great responsibility, and they're setting a high bar for the rest of the industry, demonstrating that you can pursue cutting-edge research and prioritize ethical considerations.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the potential benefits and risks of AI, explored its impact on everything from climate change to healthcare, and delved into OpenAI's efforts to guide its development responsibly. But where do we go from here? What's the next chapter in this AI revolution?
Well, the revolution's still in its early stages, that's for sure. But it's already clear that AI is going to reshape our world in profound ways. And the future of AI really depends on the choices we make today.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we choose to use it and how we integrate it into our lives and societies.
Exactly. We need to be thinking about the potential impact on jobs, privacy, equity, even our understanding of what it means to be human. These are big questions, but they're questions we need to be asking ourselves now.
Absolutely. The AI revolution is not just about technological advancements. It's about our values, our ethics, and our vision for the future. And if we approach it thoughtfully, responsibly, AI has the potential to empower us, connect us, and help us build a more just and sustainable world. But if we ignore the ethical challenges, it could just as easily amplify existing inequalities and create new risks. So as we step into this new era of intelligence, it's important to remember that the future of AI is not set in stone. It's a future that we are all shaping together.
You know, it's really striking me how fast everything's moving. It's like we're on this runaway train, and the Stanford AI Index is like our window to see where we're headed.
It really does highlight the sheer scale of this transformation. The numbers, the investments, the sheer speed of development. It's unlike anything we've ever seen.
And it's not just abstract, you know, it's not just happening in research labs. We're seeing it in our everyday lives. OpenAI Sora, their text-to-video thing. It's like, it's a perfect example of how this technology is going mainstream.
Yeah.
Sora is, it's wild. I mean, the implications are huge. Anyone can create a movie-quality video now. It's democratizing filmmaking in a way that was unimaginable just a few years ago.
It's incredible, and also kind of makes you think, like, what happens when you can't tell what's real anymore?
Right. It raises some really profound questions about truth and authenticity and how we perceive the world around us.
It's like reality itself is becoming like this fluid thing.
Yeah, and that's where I think the AI index is so valuable. It helps us like step back from the hype and actually think about these big picture implications. How is AI going to affect jobs, politics, our sense of identity? These are questions we can't ignore.
Absolutely. And, let's bring it back down to earth for a second. We've all got these smartphones. We're constantly interacting with algorithms. Even if we don't realize it, AI is already shaping our lives.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think about the recommendations you get on Spotify or Netflix, the personalized ads that pop up on your social feed. AI is influencing our choices, our tastes, even our worldviews in ways that are often subtle, but very powerful.
It's like AI is becoming this invisible force that's kind of nudging us in certain directions. And I don't know, it's helpful sometimes, but it's also a little creepy.
The key is awareness. The more we understand how these algorithms work, what data they're using, and what biases they might have, the less likely we are to be manipulated by them.
So what can we do? I mean, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by all this. Like, how do we become more informed and more empowered users of AI?
Well, first of all, don't be afraid to learn. There are so many great resources out there, like the AI index we've been talking about. OpenAI has a lot of great information on their website. Follow some tech journalists, the ones who are actually trying to explain things clearly.
Right. Knowledge is power, especially in the age of AI.
Exactly. And beyond that, be mindful. Be mindful of the data you share online, the apps you use, the information you consume. Ask questions, challenge assumptions. Don't just passively accept what the algorithms are feeding you.
It's about being an active participant, not just a passive consumer. In this AI-driven world, we need to be vocal about our concerns, advocate for ethical development, and hold companies accountable.
Absolutely. The future of AI is not preordained. It's being shaped by the choices we make today, both as individuals and as a society.
So if there's one thing I hope our listeners take away from this deep dive, it's this. Don't be afraid to engage with AI, question it, demand better. We have a say in how this technology evolves, and it's up to us to make sure it serves humanity, not the other way around.
Well said. The AI revolution is here, but it's not the end of the story. It's just the beginning of a new chapter, one that we have the power to write.
And on that note, I think we'll leave everyone with a final thought to chew on. As AI continues to blur the lines between human and machine, how will our own sense of self change? What does it even mean to be human in a world where machines can think, learn, and create alongside us? It's a question that will keep challenging and inspiring us as we journey further into this incredible and sometimes unsettling age of AI. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.